Okay, hang on. Three, two. Howdy, folks. I'm Drew Taylor. Welcome to the Daily Drew. And I said the Daily Drew. And I've got with me Mr.
DINO Soriano. That's
So,
right. Now I'm not on daily, but
no, yes, but and Dino, when I told you, when I said I'm going to start doing the Daily Drew, which on my Wild West Crypto show, I did the daily update. So, and a little bit of history there, but a few years ago. But anyway, when I said that, what did you say to me?
well, that's a challenge.
Doing that every day? And I said, well,
Every day you're going to do it every day.
and,
Uh-huh.
yeah, and I
Mhm.
said, I'm going to say I did 9 episodes,
Yep.
and
And
then
I was on two.
life happens. You're on two. Life
Mm-hmm.
happens. And Larry, as you know, my
Yep.
old
Yeah, you had.
veteran, my old buddy, and legally my father, my dad,
Yep. Some things
uh,
happen.
yeah, he passed away last Tuesday.
Yep.
And we knew that he was on that path pretty quick. And you know what,
Yep.
Dino? And I thought about I really toiled with it, going ahead, still doing a daily update. But I thought, you know what? As I get older, Dino, as I get older, it's like what's the more of what I do in life. You and I talk about it is what's most important.
And it's family,
Yeah,
right? And then you've got and then everybody's a little bit different on the next couple there. It's family, God, work, country.
yeah,
So everybody's a little bit different on there, but those are the four biggies.
yeah.
You know,
So
and
so
and
so,
you
so
know,
for me, and I do have in there, and I've got six. But the
hmm
reason I have six, because the order of them is it's my life. It took me to get to this point with the last couple of years to get to six.
hmm
And it is God, family.
hmm
It is country.
hmm
It is my career because it is part of my life as an entrepreneur. It
hmm
is then friends, and it is then money. And I didn't
hmm
want money to be in my top five because God's my number one. And to too many people, in my opinion, God is their number one. I mean, money is their number one.
hmm
And I didn't want it to be. And that's part of my loyalty pledges, those things. You're exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. And I sent you a couple messages this week. For my condolences first and everything, and then a couple days went by, and I'm like, so we recording?
I know. And Dino, you
And
want to let me tell you something. And you brought this up before I was going to bring it up. You are folks, what I have learned, and I met Dino in March of
hmm
2025, right? And Dino has become he's this guy's approaching my inner circle, and I've still got room in my top 10 people. And Dino's been on the freaking door since about the first month.
yeah, 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 and go ahead.
Because I've got three people that reached out to me and said, "Are you okay, buddy?" And you're one of them.
Yeah,
Okay, and
the way it should be.
you're here.
Hey, you got it, man. It's like so. The other day I said to you, we recording, and everybody else, you know the time of year it is, and you know this big blowhard winter storm coming. And I said to you, we recording tomorrow. I know you're going to be home. And
Yeah,
you're like, how the hell you know I'm going to be home? Because the weather going to suck. Okay. And everybody I don't know whether you have an ice storm or whether you're going to have a couple feet of snow. It don't matter. Weather going to suck. You're going to be home. And I know you got internet. And if
that's
your
it.
local internet go out, you got Starlink internet. We're not getting paid for that endorsement. So
Yet, yet.
if you're listening, contact us for that endorsement. We'd love to hear from you. All right. But and I said to you, yeah, I know you're gonna be home. Let's do it. And you sent me a message back, and you said, like, "How's 4 o'clock of your time?" And I was like, "Okay, let's make it happen."
That's
You
it.
know, and so I know we talk about a lot of things, okay, because we don't ever STF you, okay,
Yeah.
and and I'm so glad you're not wearing like big heart shorts or briefs or something right now, you know. But you got a beautiful fireplace going. You got snow there, or you got ice.
Yep. No, we have snow and ice, and there's
Well, there,
look, Sherry said, "Hey, do you know it gets worse? Because
uh,
I never wear
there you
pairs
go.
of socks."
There you go. There you go. But one of the things is that when you start to build relationships with people, and this is out to our audience, when you start to build relationships like this, okay, and one of the things you need to do is besides, being honest and working with the other person, you need to hold them accountable,
Yes,
and it goes both ways in those relationships, and so that's what I did, and he's never going to get upset with me because I do that, and vice versa.
I
I have
thank you.
people hold me accountable all the time because I've got a lot of stuff to do because I'm working on a lot of incredible projects, you know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
and and it's like if I count the number of video meetings I have every week or the number of whether I'm mentoring somebody or I'm working with an organization to help mentor them or solve problems in their country, um, or in our country, that's what I do. I'm a problem solver, and I love being a problem solver.
And Dino, to that point, talk about the accountability. We've got about a minute and a half left in this segment. But I told you I started going over to Sherry's favorite nail salon,
Yep,
which
yep.
is it's a cowboy nail salon, right? And what's so funny is I agreed to go over there, and this old cowboy's teaching Asian people Tai Chi, which I mean that
And
whole
which I just love that. I just love that.
right, yeah. It's a but let me tell you what's happened. To your point about it being you hold each other accountable. And now I'm going over there doing it every morning because part of what has happened, Sherry and I have always had the whole time we've been together, we've had this life where I'm gone in the morning at least for a few hours. Let's her
Mhm.
start her day at her pace. And this is the things that we talk about, being in marriage. You at some point in your marriage, you hope you fit together like a zipper, right?
Mhm.
And some people do it sooner than later, and it just works for Sherry. But I had gotten out of the habit of being gone in the morning with all the stuff going on, and it really kind of messes up her day. So me being gone, it's helping them. I was going to do it for a week initially, but I'm telling you, it's grown, Dino. We've got a dozen people doing cowboy Tai Chi, but everybody's holding each other accountable, even in this weather.
Oh, you got to. You got to. Accountability is gone way by, way, 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 and people, they don't hold themselves accountable to themselves, to their career, to their family, to their God. It really comes down to it. Um, if you weigh 600 pounds, you did it to yourself because you need to be accountable to yourself for eating all of that.
Yeah, but you bet. Now hold that thought because I want to resume on that when we get back. Folks, Daily Drew will be back here in 2 minutes.
Hmm.
That's a perfect, that was a perfect, that was a perfect
Analogy.
little segue in because in one of the things that we talked about, we're doing this every day. You win and lose in life by degrees. Doesn't happen overnight.
Hmm.
So, so,
Hmm.
so when we come back in, I'm going to pick you right back up saying, let's talk about that.
All
So,
right.
all right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2. All right, Dino. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Daily Drew with Dino Soriano and Dino. You talk about a perfect segue into this next segment. If you need to lose 100 pounds, you don't diet once a week, and you don't do it by yourself, really, right?
Yeah. You didn't get to be 600 pounds, eating one Twinkie a year. Okay. Um, and ain't nobody force fed you. Nobody tied you down, strapped your mouth open, and force fed you every one of them damn cheeseburgers. Okay, and all them chips and everything else you eating that the government paying for. But we're not going to go there in this episode. But the reality is, you got to be accountable to yourself. If you're not accountable to yourself, nobody else can count on you.
That's it. That's
And
it.
if you want other people to believe in you, if you want other people to believe in what you do and to believe in your vision, if you don't hold yourself accountable and own the shit that happens, good, bad, or indifferent, okay? If everything goes great, you did that. If everything goes bad, you did that. If shit's okay, you did that.
Yeah,
But the
that's it.
reality is, people look at your track record. Okay. Why do you think you got? Why do you think you got a credit report? Okay, you got a credit score because people look at your track record. You
Yep.
you want to go buy yourself a new whip. You want one of them fancy, SUVs or a fancy pickup truck. Damn pickup truck, run $100,000. Okay,
Nowadays.
but the reality is, you want to go out and buy yourself a new car. Now, if you've got an excellent track record, okay, you pay the lowest interest rates. You don't have to put no money down. You sign and drive, wide home in your new ride.
They
Okay,
know they're not going to have to chase you for that payment based on your track record.
that's right. So your track record is how they figure out your interest rate. If your track record is good, you pay this rate. If it's okay or fair, you pay this rate. If it's poor, you'll get a big money down payment and you'll pay a higher interest rate. Now, is it fair? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair because you're in control. If you pay your bills on time, pay your debt off, and you build a good track record, then you're going to have a lot of benefits in the future. Okay. And, especially younger people, they don't have mentors to teach them, oh, you're 18, you're in college. And while you're in the indoctrination stage, they going to hit you up with look at you. Oh, you're a college student. Here's free loan, free credit card, free this, free that. But they don't teach you a single class on how to manage it. And then you end up screwing shit up at age 19, and it's going to take you to age 30 to fix it. Okay.
Let me tell you, and this is one real near and dear to my heart because of all the things since they started with National Education Agency and all that stuff, they indoctrinate children. And like you said, this is a topic for another conversation. But the result of that means they do not teach them the skills they need to survive and thrive in this life.
No.
Big part of it being finance. And I'll tell you, so I've got 6 grandkids, and Sherry and I started 2 years ago when the oldest turned 10. We got a Cash App card, okay,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of people that don't have money, what happens is, it is true that the people that don't have a good credit score and don't have money and they live paycheck to paycheck, they can still get things that just cost them through the nose. But
Yeah.
they have this Cash App card, which is actually a great instrument. Almost anybody can get it, and they're actually the reverse of a credit card.
Yeah.
That you put your money on there, and they help you manage spend, and you can buy cryptocurrency. That's what I have my grandkids doing. You can
Mm-hmm.
also buy stocks. So what I'm doing is, and it's a program that I'm wanting us to. One of the things we will offer to as a mentoring program, Dino. I'm already doing it now with about 20 people, young people,
Mm-hmm.
none as young as my grandkids. I'm sharing stock ticks with them. I have them doing the same thing, and we get
Mm-hmm.
on a Zoom call once a month, going in talking about the stocks that they're going to invest in, and I'm teaching young people, including my grandkids, how to manage money and invest and everything else because it is not taught in the schools.
No, the schools don't want you to know how to manage your money because once they have you in debt and they can keep you in debt, they can control you.
There
It's
you
about
go.
power and control. And I learned about this in my psychiatry and psychological classes. Power and control. It's like domestic violence, all about power and control. Okay, government government entitlement programs about power and control. Okay,
Absolutely.
and so once they have you, and power and control, and all of that can be over your finances, it can be over your safety, it can be over your movements. Okay,
Over
but
your
once they,
food, over
yeah,
your health,
over
health
your
care.
everything. Yep. And now all of a sudden you are subservient, and you don't see a way out because nobody taught you how to stand up on your own, take accountability for yourself, and walk tall no matter what the world throws at you, because the world is going to throw everything at you.
Dino,
And
I didn't know you were gonna give them a glimpse into the next couple of years of our topics, where we take people from today, and if they will follow some of our tips, the things that we do in 2 years, they're going to be the people that are
so you gotta so here's a so I always tell people, do not take financial advice from a financial advisor that drives a Yugo. Okay. Number one.
Or
All right.
medical advice from a doctor that's chain smoking and
But
350
yeah, a
pounds.
lot of doctors change, fuck. Let me tell you that. It's a stressful job.
Yeah.
Um, but but financial advice from somebody driving you go, they're not a good decision maker. Okay. Um, don't go on a job interview if you don't have your, a close to your natural hair and less metal in your face than you have in your car. Okay. I mean, it's one thing to have a cute little nose piercing with a diamond or something. Okay. But when you have a hog ring in your nose, all right, I used to put hog rings in hogs, okay? And hell, I at one time I used to have, I had a private zoo as a hobby for my children to be able to have that experience, and I was an exotic animal breeder and broker, okay? And speaking of hogs, I shipped 27 Vietnamese potbelly pigs. I sold them back to Vietnam. Now I tell you, there's a lot to do when you got to do that, okay? But we put
You got
hog
30
rings.
seconds left in this segment. You're going to have to go to the next one. But
All right,
come
we'll
to a
go to the
wrap.
next segment. The whole thing is you're responsible for the response that you get in this life,
That's it. Be an asset. Be an asset to
not
the
an
people
ass.
you want money from. Yeah, be an ass, not an asset to the people you want money from or you want favor from. You got
That's
it.
right.
Folks, this is the Daily Truth. Let me tell you something. Wit, wisdom. We got wit, wisdom, and we'll probably make you laugh.
Oh,
We'll
hell
be back
yeah.
here in 2 minutes. There you go, buddy. All right, we're going to
You
wrap it
ready?
up with number
Count it
3.
down.
Yeah. 3, 2. Folks, welcome back to the last segment of the Daily Drew. I took a little bit of a hiatus, my fault. My partner, buddy DINO here, he's knocking on my door going, buddy, we said we were going to do something. Now,
Hell
you're a
yes.
man who does shit, says he's going to do. So are we doing this? And here we are.
That's right. That's right. And I knew he was going to be home because the weather suck outside. So, I mean, not in Puerto Rico where I'm at right now. It's like 78 and freaking gorgeous. Okay, but he freezes if he go outside. It's cold and
Yeah.
it's snow and ice and all
Yeah.
that. So he indoors. So I was like, why aren't we recording? Hmm.
Yeah. That's right.
Accountability. Okay. So accountability. And the other thing you got to do, when you choose an advisor, and that's where I said, don't take financial advice from somebody that drive a Yugo. Okay. And for those of you that don't know what a Yugo is, look it up. Okay. And because the person you want to learn for is probably somebody who's made a lot of mistakes in life. Okay. And you don't want to make the same mistakes. And that's what a good mentor does is they share with you the experience of the shit that they have been through. And Drew and I have been through some shit. Let me tell you, my daughter's writing the book. It's going to be a great book. Okay. But we have been through some shit. And we can guide you. And we can't tell you what to do, but we can guide you and give you the expertise from experience. Okay. Now we all got multiple college degrees. Okay. I don't know what I have, like 5, 6, something like that. No matter.
Yeah.
Um, I got the bill to pay for it too. Okay. But that's my bill, my
Yeah,
education.
but Dino, I have no qualified college degree. I have none of that. I went to no institutions of higher indoctrination.
So, but you have a degree from the School of Hard Knocks.
Oh yeah, I do. I've got like
Okay.
28 of those.
Yeah. You have a bunch of those. They cost more than college.
Yeah, they do, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah,
And so as mentors and guides in this world, you're not going to like everything we say, and we don't give a shit. Okay. We going to tell you like it is. Sometimes we're going to look at you and go, suck it up, buttercup, put your big boy panties on. Okay. Because, the old saying, you want to run with the big dogs, get off the damn porch.
that's it.
All right. But, that doesn't matter what your goal is. Even if your goal is to be able to just do something steady in life, if your goal is to start a small business, if your goal is to get a career, right? And you think to yourself, well, what am I? Everybody says, oh, you got to go to college. Bullshit. You don't need to go to college, be very successful, or have a good career.
Right.
Okay. And let me tell you something. Mechanics, plumbers, carpenters,
Electricians,
electricians, yeah,
welders.
welders. Oh yeah. Let me tell you, they get paid well.
Yeah.
and they got job security for the rest of the world that can't do shit. Okay.
You know, Dino, there's and you're in this vein, and it is. But folks, the other thing is, and it's part of the reason Dino and I've made millions and millions of dollars, and I've been broken homeless, but I've always done what I wanted to do. And if you're willing to give your time to someone else for a preset amount of pay, whatever it is you do, folks, do it with zeal and don't do something you don't love. People
Oh
that
yeah.
it is. I'm telling you, because I'm not kidding you. The person that shows up early, I've got a young guy right now. He's 22 years old. I'm mentoring him, his wife. They just got married 8 months ago. They're having a baby in 4 months. Right? He's going in life and he's going, Drew, I want to do what you're doing. I said, then start showing up for this Tai Chi I do every single day. He shows up for it. Right? He said, okay, we're meeting for breakfast. Well, I get there at 20 till. He gets there at 10 till and he goes, what time did you get here? I said, 20 till. I said, I'm always at least 15 minutes early. Right? So I met him for breakfast yesterday. We're meeting at 8 o'clock. I waited until 7:31 to text him and say, I'm here. So he texts me back and he goes, damn it, I was going to be there at quarter till. You're already there. There's a lesson in this. I'm trying to learn these lessons. These are the things we're going to teach you.
Yeah, yeah. The goal is for you know the old the student is to surpass the master. Well, look, that's a hell of a challenge that you will take on.
Yep.
Okay, but you know it's one of those things where we are who we are because of everything we have gone through and everything that's happened to us, and more importantly, how Drew and I have responded to those things. And you cannot control all of the bad things that are going to happen to you. They're going to
Nope.
happen. But
Yep.
what you can control is how you respond to that.
100%.
Right. And I'm going to give you your first win. I'm going to give every one of our listeners the first win. Did you wake up today? Right? You woke up today?
Yep.
Okay. You have survived everything this world has thrown at you every day up until today so far. That's your first win.
Yep.
So don't tell me, oh, it's too hard. You've already survived everything they've thrown at you. Now, are you where you want to be? I don't know. I mean, I'm not allowed to complain, but I'm happy. Okay, but there's other things I want to do in life to be able to give back, be able to do things. Okay, it might be you're struggling with what to do with whatever. You know, you want advice from relationships are you got to put effort in. Okay, you want and that's every relationship.
Yes. Hey, let me weigh in for a second. And folks, let me tell you something. What he's telling you, we're not saying throw your freaking life away and do something totally different. Some people need to. Some people that need to move out of the city they're in, change the friends and the family they have. They need to start over. But you have that opportunity to start over. I guarantee you, Dino, and I know people that have left the town they're in because of the circle of friends and the bad influences, gone somewhere else. And people are saying, well, how do I do that? There's always a church, a community center, a nonprofit that you can go in and you volunteer. When I was in Las Vegas, I was homeless. I had nothing. I had to start all over again. Okay? But I didn't cry. I didn't blame other people. I got up every day and I figured out how to make it work. Dino, how many times did you quit in your life?
What quit
Yeah.
what?
You didn't. You have to keep going. Never ever quit. Whatever you're doing, never ever quit. You may change directions. Change a little bit of direction.
I might choose to do something different based on a good decision,
Right.
but that's not quitting.
Right.
Okay, that's changing direction based on experience or based on your research or your findings or your results.
Right.
Okay, and that but you get up every day. Somebody hits you and beats you down, you get back up.
That's the
And
movie
that's
Rudy.
and
I told you it's my favorite. Dino,
yeah,
we
so
got
we're gonna
30
have fun.
seconds. Take us out of this. Take us out of today, man.
All right, I'm going to take you out with something to think about because I love when I meet with people to send them home with their wheels spinning, thinking about how they can do this. Okay, I'm going to tell you how I solve a lot of problems. It's called the EPOM method. Okay, evaluate, plan, organize, execute, measure, repeat. Because you got to evaluate what you're working on, the problem. Okay, I got a problem. This is now you gotta plan. How am I going to solve that problem, right? And then I'm going to organize, right?
Yep.
And then I'm going to execute, and then I'm going to measure, and then I'm going to look at those results, and I'm going to go back to the plan, and then I'm going to organize a better way to do it. Then I'm going to execute it, and then I'm going to measure it. Y'all think I got to where I'm at because I haven't made mistakes? I sit at the top of many tables in a lot of groups, and a lot of people look at me and they go, "You dress the way you want, blah blah blah. Why are you sitting at the head of the table?" I made more mistakes than y'all combined. That's how. And there's your thought for the week.
There you go. Hey, folks, Dino, as always, buddy, love you, my brother. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
Folks, appreciate all y'all tuning in and share stuff, and feel free to, we're starting this thing off small because we can control the damage if it gets out of hand. But trust me, we're building momentum, and hang on. It's going to be one hell of a ride. Dino, appreciate you.
Hell yeah, my brother.
Daily Drew, we'll be back here again tomorrow. I will. Dino, you going to be here Friday for me?
Hell yeah.
All right. Folks, I'll see you tomorrow. Dino, we'll see you Friday.
You got it.
Perfect, buddy. Love it.
Hey, you need some